Hello, dear students. I hope all you are doing very awesome, and let's continue the first chapter of the civics power sharing. So, in previous discussion, we have come to know about the Belgium and the Sri Lanka's ethnic composition, and look, these both the countries are democratic, but we can see the different balancing model within the countries within the Belgium and Sri Lanka, right? So now let's continue here. It is written in Sri Lanka, as we have seen that Sinhala communities were in majority, right? And Sri Lankan Tamils were in minority. Fine. So here Tamils are concentrated in the northern and the east of the country, as we had seen in the map, right? Most of the Sinhala speaking people are Buddhist. Okay, means that Sinhala people. Okay, they were Buddhist, right? Means the majority community were Buddhist, right? While most of the Tamils are Hindu or Muslims, right? So most of the Tamils means the minority people were Hindus and Muslims. 7% of the Christians. Okay, fine. Just imagine what could happen in situation like this Belgium. Like this Belgium, the Dutch community could take advantage of its numeric majority and force its will on the French and German speaking population. Now it is being said by the writer here. Just imagine the case of Belgium, where the Dutch people were in majority. Suppose that in Belgium, Dutch community could take advantage of its numeric majority. Okay, just imagine the situation then. Okay, so it would have created lot of problem in between the Dutch and the French, right? And several protests and several violence we could have seen. Fine, if these Dutch communities dominated on the minority people, right? And don't forget that the capital city Brussels, which was the capital city, in that particular capital city, which community is in majority? French community is in majority. So they could have done the same with the Dutch people in the Brussels, which was done by the Dutch people on the French in the nation. I hope all you are getting. Fine. This could lead a very massive partition, of course, if these both of the communities, Dutch and the Belgium, would have not been together. So it could have created lots of what? Lots of massiveness in between and the partition in the country, right? Both the sides would claim the control over Brussels. Simple. In Sri Lanka, the Sinhala community enjoyed an even bigger majority and could impose its will on the entire country. Now let us look at what happened in both of these countries. Fine, means now the writer is saying that in Sri Lanka, Sinhala community dominated on the minorities, and they enjoyed their power. Okay, just due to they were big in majority, right? So let's see what happened in both of the countries. In Belgium case, it is only assumption. Okay, writer is giving you only an assumption that you just think that it could have led the massive imbalance in the country in Belgium if both of the communities would have not come together, right? But in Sri Lanka, we know that Sri Lankan Sinhala people, they created massive imbalance and dominated on the minority. So what happened in both of the cases? So here you can see a term is coming, majoritarianism. Okay, majoritarianism means the domination led by the majority community within the country. So we are taking an example of the Sri Lanka, right? So see, how Sri Lankan Sinhalese communities created massive majoritarianism in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka emerged as independent country in 1948. The leaders of the Sinhala community sought to secure dominance over the government by virtue of their majority. As a result, democratically elected government adopted a series of majoritarianism. Okay, so okay, fine. It is given only a history. Now, this is the first uh, conflict we can see here. In 1956, an act was passed to recognize Sinhala, the only official language. Okay, Sinhala recognized only official uh, language within the country, right? Thus disregarding Tamil, right? Now the people who don't know the Sinhala, okay, what would happen with them? Okay, so it created sense of insecurity because they have recognized only Sinhala as an official language of the Sri Lanka in 1956, right? Now, see what happened. The government followed preferential policies that favored Sinhala applicants for the university position and government jobs. Means only the people who know the Sinhala language, they would get preferation. Okay, in jobs, in educational institution, everywhere, right? A new constitution stipulated that the state shall protect the foster Buddhism, and this new constitution ensures that Buddhism should be secured. Rest of the religion and the communities don't care about that, right? Now you just suppose that all we are very habitual, means we use Hindi in our daily lives, right? But we know the English somewhere. But suppose that someone someone came in India and say that India and created a particular Odia language as an official language of India. So all we are not able to read and write and understand the Odia language, right? So it is kind of uh, insecurity for us, right? In a same manner, the same insecurity felt by the Tamil people in Sri Lanka after 1956, right? So all these government measures coming after the gradually increase the feeling of the alienation, feeling of the insecurity or separated, right? Among the Sri Lankan Tamils, they felt that none of the majority political party led by Buddhist Sinhala leaders was sensitive to their languages. Means this was felt by the minorities that Sinhala leaders are not that much sensitive, or they are not taking care of their culture, their languages and their religion, right? They felt that constitution and government policies denied them equal political rights, discriminated against them and getting jobs and other opportunities, and ignored their interest. As a result, the relation between the Sinhala and Tamil communities stained over time. Of course, means in Sri Lanka, they gave all the preferences and simply in jobs, in education institution, as I told you. So it was really very insecure and very alienation feeling for the minority people. They are minorities people, those who were not Sinhalese, right? Now, so it created the huge imbalance. And suppose just India, in terms of India, you can just imagine this, that suppose in India, as I've taken the example of Odia language, that suppose that government has passed this bill that and that bill has become an act, and now the rule in India is that only Odia language people will get the jobs in the government jobs, and those who know the Odia only they can come into the education institution and that all. So you can see that what massive protests we can see in this kind of situation, right? So same thing happened in Sri Lanka. So Sri Lankan Tamil launched the party struggle recognition Tamil as an official language. Now they have formed a party, right? Later on that group was known as LITTE, Litte, right? Liberation Tiger of Tamil Elam, right? Tamil Elam, here it is written Tamil Elam, ठीक है? Liberation Tiger, LI Liberation, T for Tiger and Tamil Elam, right? This was the party name, right? Now we can see here and they demanded regional autonomy and equality of opportunity in securing education and jobs, right? But their demand for more autonomy and provinces populated by the Tamils were repeatedly denied, and the demands which they were raising, that please give us all equal status in the jobs in educational institutions, so they simply denied all those. Sinhala government denied all those demands. Okay, now fine. Tamil was repeatedly denied by 1980s. Several political organizations were formed demanding an independent state, Tamil Elam. Now when their demands were rejecting by the government, so then they started demanding Tamil Elam, the separate nation or separate state for their community, right? In northern and eastern part of the Sri Lanka, where they were in majority, means where not in majority means where they were living, right? In these parts they were demanding the Tamil Elam. This distrust between the two communities turned into widespread conflict, and it soon turned a civil war, and this created huge untrust in between, and this created the civil war. Means the people are fighting within the territory. Okay, all the citizens are fighting together, that is civil war, right? As a result, thousands of people of both the communities have been killed. Many families were forced to leave the country as refugees, and many of those lost their livelihood. Okay, these were the consequences of that war, civil war. Fine. Sri Lankan excellent record of the economic development, educational health, but civil war has caused terrible setback to the social, cultural, and economic life of the country. Of course, once your country is in war, whether it is war with the other country or within your territory, it created huge economic loss, right? Fine. Now see what happened in Belgium. In Belgium model, we can see what constitution. Belgian leaders, first of all, look, Belgium did not do that thing which we have seen in Sri Lanka, right? What Belgian leaders did, look, they created a balanced constitution, right? In 70s to 1993, they amended their constitution 4 times. Okay, sometime it can be asked in your 1 marks question that how many times Belgian constitution was amended. So 4 times. Okay, 4 times. Now look, they amended constitution 4 times to create a proper balance between, right, within the Dutch, in between the Dutch and French, right, French people, so that people can feel the feeling of security and sense of collectiveness together, right? So now see the arrangement they worked out, the different form other country had, very innovative. Now the second point, constitution prescribes that the number of Dutch French speaking ministers shall be equal in the central government. Now listen, this is the first point, means no, doesn't matter that who is in minority and who is in majority. What they have done, the equal Dutch and French speaking ministers shall be equal in the central government, means the representation from the French and from the Dutch ministers would be equal, fine, in the central government. Now see, the Belgium leaders gives equal representation both of the communities, right? Some special laws require the support majority members from each linguistics, thus no single community can make decision unilaterally. Fine. Now second point, many powers of the central government have been given to the state of the two regions of the country. The state government are not subordinate of the central government. Means state governments had given the some powers, and they were not those powers were not compulsive by the central government. Means they were not subordinated of the central government. Means they had they had this right that they can deny the decisions of the central government. So it created what it created the sense of security and the collectiveness and belongingness with the central ministry. Are you getting? Means state government got some authority, so those states felt it that central government is taking care of us, right? Now see, in central ministry we have seen that in central minister, now we have seen central ministers have given the separate powers and the equal representation in the country. So now the same thing happened in the Brussels. Now the people who were in majority in Brussels, what they have done, they did the same as central ministry did in the country, right? So what happened now? See, Brussels has a separate government in which both of the communities have equal representation. Now listen, Brussels government, okay, they had also given the equal representation, right? The French speaking people accepted equal representation in Brussels because of Dutch speaking community has accepted equal representation in the central government, right? Like Dutch people accepted the equal representation of in the central government of the French people, French community. So in the same manner, French people applauded it, praised it, and they also given the equal representation in Brussels to the Dutch people. Okay, so now you can see the Dutch and the French people are living with the security and love and prosperity together, right? So that is why we don't see any kind of conflict in between. And just opposite, you can see in Sri Lanka the huge civil war, right? Now listen, in Belgium there was a community government also. Means in several part of the country, whether it is Dutch people, French people, German speaking, no matter where they live, right? This government has power regarding culture, education, language related issues. Means Belgium government also had given this power to the communities that they can take care of their what? Their culture, their tradition, their language, right? It is. So we can see, you might find Belgian model very complicated, it's very needed. Means ultimately the Belgian model was the very proper balancing, and we can see the power sharing in between the several communities in Belgium. And now we have seen the both of the cases, the both of the democratic countries. In Sri Lanka, no power sharing, and we can see the consequences, right? In Belgium, we can see the power sharing in between the communities, so we can see the consequences. So this is all about the today's lecture. Please go through to it, make notes out of it, and if you are having any doubts, so you can ask in the comment section below. Thank you so much.